Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have another happy session, I hope. It's not on? Yeah. Good. Now can you hear me? Better? It's on. Just more voice. All right. Welcome again. We are going to have another happy talk session this afternoon. Still can't hear me? Steve, can you hear me? Or Mike, I'm sorry. Steve?
Not coming through? Or is this the little gal here that's not speaking so loud?
Okay. Now can you hear me? Is that better? Let me know. Can you hear me? It's right there. The first thing for a caller's partner to learn is how to use a microphone. All right, once again, welcome, and we do hope we will have a happy session this afternoon. We do not have specific topics to talk about this afternoon. I'm leaving that up to our panelists, and I will introduce them and say a few words about them. First, I will introduce myself. I am Shirley Jones, and I belong to Harry. And Harry has been calling 25 years. He travels over the weekend. He has 4 weeks vacation. We use that for travel time. He works for the city of Arlington as street superintendent, has been with the city for 27 years. We both enjoy the activity of square dancing. I am a dancer first and a caller's partner second. And our panelists this afternoon are Joanne Mayo and Ann McMillan. Let me tell you a little bit about Ann first. Ann and Darrell own the Rent House Records. Ann has been a caller's partner for 11 years. She and Darrell have enjoyed being dancers for 13 years. She enjoys the activity today as much as she did when they first became dancers. One of the things Ann enjoys most are the friends they have made all over the world. Ann feels that being a part of the caller's family can be very rewarding, and his travels allow them to travel and vacation in places that they would never have been able to visit otherwise. I suppose you might say that square dancing is Ann's hobby. She does enjoy painting, but doing the book work for Rent House Records and handling Darrell's bookings and being a wife and mother doesn't leave much time for painting. Some way, Ann does find time for volunteer work with the mentally retarded twice a week. They are now attempting to teach them basic square dancing. Ann says this work is truly one of the great joys in her life. A very admirable effort on your part, Ann. And I wish you all the best in your endeavors. Ann and Darrell have 2 sons, Darren, 15 years of age, and John Derrick is 11. And with boys those ages, Ann is kept busy with track meets, Little League ball, and cooking, and cooking, and cooking. All right, and Joanne Mayo has been a dancer for 21 years. She has a full-time job as a bank manager. And I'd like to talk to you, Joanne. What's the interest rate in your bank? She has been in the leadership role for 21 years and has been married to Jim Mayo for 3 years. Her hobbies include skiing, cooking and entertaining, and gardening. I would like Anne to talk with you first. Might I say right now before we get started, when we open up for the question and answer session, please come to the mic. State your name, where you're from, if you will, please.
Hi, and it's no easier getting up in here than it was in the first session. Today, I'm going to talk to you about some of the problems of being a caller's partner. I don't have all the answers to all the problems I'm going to bring up, and you may not agree with some of the answers that I do have. Some of these problems I have had to deal with, and some were given to me by other caller's partners. Again, I'm not saying this is what you do, because this is the way I do it. We're sharing our ideas and our experiences with you, and we hope you'll share yours with us. I know this year's theme is quality. Oh, goodness. I think the best way for us as caller's partners to add quality to the split activity is to be happy with ourselves and the lives that we lead as caller's partners. I hope each of us leaves this meeting with a feeling of accomplishment in having dealt with some of the problems that are uniquely ours because our husbands or our wives have chosen to be split callers. I have often thought that we should have callers partners clinics. Often the husband or the wife will discuss the fact that they want to be a caller with their partner, and the partner thinks, oh great, I'd love being a caller's partner, innocently thinking that this would involve one night a week. Boy, were we ever wrong. There's no way a potential caller and his partner, her partner, whatever. I'm trying to be sure and include the men in this, and I'm having the problem. I'm programmed to think of caller's partner as a woman, and I know that's not so. There's no way they can sit down and discuss all the enjoyments and pitfalls of a calling hobby or career. Just quite simply, there's no way they know what to discuss. They don't know what they're getting into. We all know that to have gotten into 10 years, it was just by trial and error. We had to learn as we went along. When Daryl first became calling, I soon found that my one night a week had turned into 5 nights a week, and almost every weekend involved our traveling to out-of-town calling dates. Our children at that time were very small, and we couldn't carry them with us everywhere we went. And I am fortunate that I have a great mother-in-law who doesn't mind babysitting. But because my mother-in-law also has other things to do, I found that I was leaving my children with the babysitter more than I like to do, and I felt that babysitters and my mother-in-law were raising my children, and I didn't like that feeling. Our solution to this problem was a deep discussion about square dancing and what it meant to each of us, and how much of our time we were willing to devote to the activity. Now I only go with him one night a week to our Friday night mainstream club where we teach our beginner classes. I do try to travel with him to out-of-town dates that we can drive to. This way I can contribute to what I feel is very important to the square dance activity, introducing new people to the joy of dancing, and enjoy the part of being a caller's wife that keeps me fresh, as getting to travel around and make new friends and meet new people. Now that the boys are older and enjoy traveling with us, we do take them with us some of the time, and we all appreciate the fact that if Daddy wasn't a caller, we would not get to travel or vacation in some of the great places his calling career has taken us. Boys are very involved in sports now, and I find that I'm staying home more and more on weekends attending their games. I feel it's important to them and to us as a family for one of us to be present at this game, at their games. They understand that Daddy can't always be there, and they appreciate the fact that one of their parents is able to attend. Okay. I keep breathing in this microphone. It seems like a roar. Huh? Are you? Okay. See if I can back up. Maybe I'm too close. Okay. Making the transition from being an active dancer to being a caller's partner can be another problem to be dealt with. If y'all are like me, I know you love to dance, and when your partner decides to become a caller, you automatically lose your dancing partner. One solution to this is making yourself available or accessible. Don't go hide in a corner and think, oh, poor me, I have no partner. By being friendly and talking with the dancers, you let them know that you still enjoy dancing as much as you ever did, even if you don't have a regular partner. If you have traveled to an out-of-town dance with your caller, he can help by introducing you. I have found that when Bill does this, I have a full evening of dancing pleasure. As callers' partners, we go through the process of helping and encouraging him to become a caller. Plus the fact that we have to listen to all that practicing to find that later, that only he is in the limelight. This has not been a problem for me because I really don't enjoy or have a need to be in the limelight. To me, whether it is the local or the traveling caller, the partner is going to take a back seat. If this is a problem for you and your caller, I suggest you work at making yourself useful to the club and classes, just in general being available to help where help is wanted or needed. We also have to learn not to be jealous of the attention that our husbands, as callers, are going to receive. A certain amount of adoration is to be expected. I'll admit it's a little hard to swallow at times, especially if you and your caller have had harsh words just before a dance. But pretty soon you just learn to smile through it all. There's a little statement I'm going to make that might raise a few eyebrows, but I'm going to make it anyway. There's a difference between adoring and wanting to go to bed with. And that brings up a completely different subject, and if you have trouble distinguishing between the two, if you've got a problem, maybe we can discuss it later. It is important for you to know that you are important to his team. It would be hard for him to have a successful, well-rounded clinic program without a good quality wife behind him. If your husband is your husband a traveling caller, or does he want to be? If he is, you already know most of the problems you have to deal with. I asked a good friend of mine whose husband is also a traveling caller for her opinion. Her first reaction was, thank goodness he's gone for a while. And I have to say I agree with her. It's nice to have time to do the things that I enjoy doing but don't have time for when he's at home. And it also gives us a breather from each other, which I feel that we need every now and then. I have already spoken about one of my biggest problems, dealing with our children and how much time I choose to devote to square dancing. If your husband chooses to travel, you will also find yourself in charge of the family most of the time. At times, you will feel like you are raising your family by yourself, and in truth, you may find you're doing just that. Be prepared to deal with this. Most of the traveling caller's wives that I know also are the caller's booking agents, travel agents, bookkeeper, and secretary. Add to that any other caller-related activity that your caller chooses to get involved in, for example, clinics, offices and callers associations, and etc., and you will find yourself head over heels in paperwork that he doesn't have time to deal with. Also, add to this your involvement in clubs and classes, plus the fact that you are a wife and mother, or a husband and father, and you have yourself one heck of a job. I'm not saying I don't enjoy my job. I'm saying be prepared. A big problem for me has been burnout. By burnout, I mean I just plain get burned out on square dancing, or I should say on being a caller's partner. When I feel this way, it's usually because I have been working hard at being a caller's partner and haven't taken the time to enjoy the pleasures of being a square dancer. By now, I know I'm going to feel this way at least once or twice a year. So I make it a point to cross out a couple of special weekends for Dale and I to attend as dancers, festivals that I enjoy attending. It does us all good to remember that we are all basically square dancers, and to get out and dance is one of the greatest ways I know to combat burnout. One other thing we can do is take some time off, if you ever can find the time to take some time off, and get completely away from square dancing. You'll be surprised how much you miss it when you're inactive for just a little while. Some problems that I do not have time to discuss were given to me by the Northwest Florida College Association's wives, and I wish this time to thank them for their help. Some of these I feel, at least it ring up, maybe you can help us discuss them later. Some of them have the feeling that square dance calling has become more important to their husbands than anything else, that they go and support the square dance activity, but things that you have an interest in apart from square dancing get neglected. I haven't had this problem, but have you ever felt in competition with another caller's wife? Do you feel that you are not accepted as part of a calling team? And does your caller ignore you? In closing, I want to say that I hope I haven't sounded like I resent being a caller's partner. I love square dancing, and my part as a caller's partner is very important to me. I just think it's time we brought up and discussed some of the problems involved in hopes that we will all benefit from each other's experiences.
Thank you, Ann. If it looks like I just joined the short people, I pull my shoes off. My feet are tired. If you feel like doing the same, please do so. Joanne? Welcome. In Shirley's presentation, she gave you a little bit of history of who I was. Told you that I had been in the activity for 21 years, and Jim and I had been married for 3 years, which obviously means that we had been married, divorced, and remarried. My presentation to you today is going to be some thoughts on divorce. You can hear? It's what? Okay. Is that better? Okay. Both Jim and I have full-time jobs, which give us 4 weeks vacation, no children, and only a dog to board when we have to go away. So with all of this, it is possible for us to travel together a lot. This possibility is not always available for people without the above options, and it can become a hassle. In my opinion, if it's only possible to go on a few occasions, take the time to discuss which is best for both of you. I'm not new to the activity of leadership in the square dance world. I was a round dance leader for 15 years, but in round dancing, you are treated as a couple, where in square dancing, 90% of the time the caller is the star, and the more experienced and well-known he becomes, the more demand for his time, both in calling and his knowledge. So you see, some of these festivals can be very boring. We've attended festivals, we've walked into the door together, and we walked out the door together at 11 o'clock. Didn't see each other the rest of the day. The divorce statistics are very high amongst callers and low amongst dancers. Most often, square dance calling is not the reason for divorce, but does play a major part if there is a major problem. Most callers get so wrapped up in their lives and in their activities, they sometimes forget that there are other people involved. If you stop and think of the rewards in square dance calling, it is no wonder that they are so involved. After all, it has to be awesome to have that many people in their control. I think from experience and from our own enjoyment, both Jim and I plan carefully for time for us to be together, independent of square dancing. We have found that time away from dancers and time to ourselves is very important, even if it's not doing anything but watching television. It doesn't have to be a major thing. The most important thing we have realized is to have open communication all the time. If something is bothering you about the activity, don't hold back and ponder over it. Talk about it, and perhaps some comfortable arrangements can be made before disaster sets in. College partners are very important people in the activity. They are the gap between the club and the caller. There are many things that the caller cannot be made aware of when he is on the stage. Therefore, you are down on the floor and you can pick up those clues if you make yourself aware of them. But if people are not your thing, don't be ashamed. Perhaps there is some other specialty you can offer. You would be amazed at the number of older and length of calling, not years of age, that have thought of divorce and perhaps a better way of survival in the world. But through discussion with each other have resolved the issue and have become comfortable with their decision. Don't feel as though you have to be part of this activity all of the time. Clubs and festivals don't own you. Most of this form of discussion about divorce and if it could happen and its end result is not easy, but it is better than divorce. Square dancing is a fantastic activity for everyone, and it can be a new and exciting experience for both callers and their partners. But be careful and keep an open communication and view of the activity and potential problems. If you keep all this in mind, I'm sure the activity will be tremendously rewarding. It has many rewards to give. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. I would like to take a quick survey right now to see how many of you in the room whose partner has been calling less than 10 years. Would you hold your hand up, please? Oh, that's a good majority. We're glad to have you. We will open up now for a question and answer session. Please feel free to ask anything that's bugging you at the time. But please understand that we are not up here to tell you that what we say is the cut and dried way to do things. What works for me may not work for you. You have to learn to use judgment. And in using judgment, you will learn to use quality judgment. So do we have any questions, please? Oh, Shirley. Surely you have some. All right. Would you please come to the mic?
I'm Betty Hopper from Jackson, Tennessee. And
Betty Hopper? Okay.
I'd like to ask the panel if you have any problems with single dancers in your area. Do you allow them to come to your class and to join your club? It seems that we have a big problem in our area with so many singles, especially women. It seems like at our age, we have a lot of women that would like to learn, and it causes a few problems, and I'd like it discussed.
Okay, I hope I can repeat the question. Do we have any problems in our area with singles coming to our clubs or classes? Do we allow it? Did I cover that? Particularly women. Yes, I think that is the problem almost everywhere. Joanne, would you like to answer that?
Yes, we have singles, and we do allow them to come to our classes, but we make them bring a partner. They can come alone, but they will not be guaranteed dancing. And if they do not come with a partner, we do not encourage them to stay. And 90% of the time they come with partners.
You do allow them to join the club if they have a partner?
Yes, that's right.
we also have a problem. We specify that male or female, you have to supply your own partner to go through classes. And they usually do. And what happens is, usually the man drops out after they join the club, and we're stuck with a widow's rope. And we really don't know what to do about it. We have a few single men, but they generally have their favorite partners that they make arrangements to come with. And it's been a problem, and our area is not large enough. We're isolated, and it's not large enough to support a singles club. But if anybody has any suggestions as to what to do, I'd welcome them.
Would any of you like to make comments on this at the time?
Yes, I'm Lee Tannehill from Dallas. And we have
I'm
the
sorry, I
problem.
can't hear you.
I'm Lee Tannehill from Dallas. And we do have the problem of single women wanting to join the square dance club or come to lessons. At the time of lessons, they naturally have to have a partner. That's what the club specifies that we do for. But after a period of time, if they find that they're left without partners, we encourage them to learn to dance in any position. And many times we have 1, 2, or 3 squares made up of all women. They still have a very good time, even dancing as men. They enjoy the activity and the socializing, whether they're with a male partner or just chatting with their friends. So that has seemed to help quite a bit.
That's good. This is one of the saddest things in our activity is the lack of men. Oh, we have one senior citizen group in Arlington of ladies, and they enjoy dancing with each other. In our classes, we tell the people, the ladies who call, that we cannot guarantee them partners, and it's their gamble. In our classes, we are teaching at a university, and the college girls are dancing with each other. They don't seem to mind, and they're learning. I would like to mention one little pet peeve I have against singles, and I don't mean anything by it, please. I love them, and I'm glad that they have an opportunity to dance. But I do feel, as a college wife, it is my right to say no if the single guy comes to the dance expecting me to dance the entire evening with him. Okay.
I am Connie Connor from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I'm sorry. Can you hear? It's an echo. Okay.
Okay. I'm Connie Connor from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And in Tulsa, we have 5 singles clubs. The singles are not allowed to join the married club unless they have a partner. If one or the other drops out, then the other has to drop. And that's just the way it is. But the singles visit the married clubs. In fact, they would rather visit married clubs. But they don't join and stay if one or the other drops out.
I think this rule carries true in many of the clubs. They will let the singles join as a couple if a man and a lady would like to join as a couple. But like you say, if one drops out, the other one is expected to drop out.
One of the serious problems we run into is singles. One, the single lady that does stay, the next thing she's saying, I told you when I came in the door, I expect you in. And then all of a sudden, all the ladies have to go with their husband. The men don't like it. The ladies, they're willing to quit. The men don't like it. So I don't know if I'm tired today or my bottle's burning old. My mind's not burning.
Thank you. Would anyone else care to comment on that?
I think it'd be better without the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Especially I was a trumpet player. We do not have the problem with singles as such. We do have a couple of bachelors with me, no problem. We're all glad to see a couple of bachelors. But we have the problem in our area in northern Minnesota of mine workers that work on ships. So even at the beginning of lessons, what we try to stress is, even if your partner can't come to the lesson, please come or send your partner. And then if that woman is working at the hospital and she sends her husband and another fellow is working at the mine and sends his wife, it's a real wholesome activity that you don't mind them, sharing. And then this continues right through our club. At any club bench, we have people there without their, quote, life partner, if you will. But they still are able to come out and dance, and a lot of times that fills in for that extra square or something, so we're glad to have them.
That's very interesting. That's one of the happy things about square dancing is that you can dance with other partners.
I know the second part was, if you ever had a single lady come up to you and say, I'm a single man, Tom, or we have a widower in our club. He does not, his wife just passed away. He does not want to be hooked up with this single lady who went, there's a single widower over there. She comes beeline for our club. She came out to me to be picture anything new. She said, you have a husband. Why can't you share? That did it. Boy, the problem is impossible.
Could we have some more questions? Please. Yes, Anna. Thank you. What you say, Erna? To elaborate more. Please don't be hesitant to ask questions. By your asking questions, we all learn, and we never get through learning. That does sound like it would work out well. This is a problem. I've never been able to get the set answer for it yet, but different situations arise at different times, and it depends on how you handle it at the time. Any more? That is a good suggestion. Or using the term senior citizen. But that's what they are called. And they are organizing groups, like I was saying earlier. And a lot of the ladies are dancing. And some way or another, they are getting out and finding partners. And I respect them for that. Yes.
May I ask a question? Whose responsibility is it to tell these people after they've been through a class, if your club chooses that they cannot join the club, whose responsibility is it to tell these people this?
The question is, whose responsibility is it to tell these people that they cannot join the club as singles? And
It depends on what the club rule is. Our club allows singles to join. You allow singles to go through classes with a partner, but if the partner drops out, the other partner has to quit, right? Is it a caller-run club? No, it's not fault. Then I would say it would be the club president.
yes, Shirley? Thank you.
The other alternative, this would not work in our case. But the other alternative is you can inform them if they want to evening out and they want to belong to the group, that they can keep coming back and dancing. And they can fill in that way. But they generally won't come those dances. And I think it's just better to begin and label the club as a couples club. It's in the bylaws, they know that. And then you can, now you get other suggestions. You can tell them what's going to happen down the road when you've had bad experiences. You don't want to hurt them. You don't want to be frustrated. But we've had these problems before. And, coach the family. That's why I said do it in the beginning before it's too late.
Yes. All right. Question over here or a comment? Yes. Definitely. I danced this morning in the styling session with my son. It was a great thrill and honor. Question? Yes. Okay. Would a question? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you. The question is, what is the age limit on classes? Are you asking me directly or? Different areas are different. In our own particular class, we place 14, age 14, because as sad as it may seem, most people, the majority of the people, object to dancing with someone smaller than they are.
Would you stand up, please? We have in our club families that also dance. And our age limit is 10. But we also put a little clause in there. We have to have a whole square of young children. Okay? And they are told to dance in their own square. And if an older person makes the mistake of getting in their square and gripes, look, they probably didn't want you in there to begin with. Don't dance with the young people unless you are invited, and the young people do not dance with the old people unless you're invited. Some of our dancers we find enjoy dancing with the young people because they are so enthusiastic. But we do make that stipulation.
Thank you, Anne. Joanne, do you have a comment on this? Okay. More comments? Very good point. That's a good point, and I think here too, in this type of situation, you have to use judgment. And if you have 3 squares of 10-year-olds, or even less, if you have 3 squares, or 2, or even 1, I think it depends on how you feel at the time. I would really hate to turn away a square of young people really wanting to learn to dance.
I'm Joanna Lewis from Texas, and I had a man mention to me one night that their children danced, and they were 10 and 12, I believe. He said that they had taught them, when they came to the dance, to stand up alone, and if someone joined them, fine. Otherwise, they would sit down. I think this is a real good rule. We have 2 children, 10 and 12, and we tell them the same thing.
Thank you, Joanne. Yes. Yes, yes. I can see both viewpoints on this situation, and I think most of us can. When I made the statement I did a while ago, it's because of our particular club and class situation at home. Thank you. Yes, it's an officer-run club, then. Yes. Another question? Okay.
I just want to comment on this working club. Number one, if you're starting like a new club, these kind of guys at club, they have no idea what the service field is and how they operate. And when you get in the dance field, run into this situation of singles, families, and all this. And then you get into other areas. We're going to work on a program, a training
I think we're all in agreement in an officer-run club. The caller and his partner are there to advise and guide, not to tell the club what to do. I don't think any of us do. I think the thing that we need to stress right now is the fact that when we do teach young people to dance, we should teach square dance etiquette along with it. Another question in the back. That's so true. Yes, Anne would like to say something.
We had a problem with, we are a family club, and I have children that are under the square dance age limit I had, and there are quite a number of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds that come with their parents to the square dance, and this was beginning to be a problem. So when we built our new hall, we put a room in it for the kids. And this, it was really a problem. I felt like I was babysitting part of the time. And I was. And I don't mind. I love the kids. I truly do. And I will call any of them down. I still do. But we made a room especially for them as their playroom. And this helped solve our problem as far as having kids running around the floor and running out between your legs while you're sweating. It's dangerous for you. You can get injured, and they also could get injured.
Thank you, Anne. I would like again to ask, are there any other questions? I feel like there are some of you out there that really would like to ask a question along a different line. So please feel free. We've got just a few more minutes. Oh, did we offend anyone? What was your question again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear all the first of it. The question was, may I repeat the question for the benefit of the tape? The question was, how many of you have attended a college school? Show of hands, please. That's a very good average. Was there a question in the back? Yes. Yes. What means do we use to keep things calm before the dance? question was what other people did to keep things smooth before you left for the dance. Comment? Great. Anne, would you like to comment?
I don't know about your callers, but mine's feathers can be ruffled 2 seconds before he goes in and picks that microphone up. And when he picks that microphone up, oh, he just feels so good. Total person who can be sick. Oh, he can be laying on the couch so sick. And you think he's going to die. And he goes to a square dance and he picks that microphone up and totally different person comes home and dies. So I don't worry about ruffling mine's feathers. It's only going to last as long as we get to the dance anyway.
Joanne, would you care to comment on that?
We don't ruffle each other's feathers.
No.
That's true. Jim is a very mild-mannered man. He very seldom has anything to be ruffled about, and I think both of us have an understanding of each other and what is expected. And we don't have much time when he gets home because we both work. We're in the house about an hour. And I really have not had that opportunity. I can't answer that one right now.
Yes. I would like to say something along this line. I try to keep things on an even keel. If the kids bring home a bad report card, I'll think, well, that can wait till tomorrow. But then I get to thinking, I've got to worry about those things too. Why can't he? I mean, after all, if I can handle it, I think he can too. But I really honestly do try to keep things on an even keel. I'll keep the bad report card till tomorrow or see how he feels at the end of the dance. If it's going to keep him from sleeping, I won't tell him. I'll wait till tomorrow. But I think we all have the same idea along that line, really.
Someone mentioned the word burnout. Did you pick that up from Phil Don? He said, no. Did anyone see that show last week? It was beautiful because the night before I bawled for 45 minutes all the way to the dance. It was one of those days when I just couldn't quit crying. And I thought, golly, I'm a depressed person. The minute we hit that door, oh, hi, it was a whole other show. There's lots of times I wonder what the kids and why we think this way. He has a terrible job, and the reason he got into square dancing was he was bringing his job home. But, the great thing about square dancing is when you walk in that hall, you leave the other world out there, and this is going to work. You cannot cut off his feelings. But a burnout is someone who's in a situation they don't like. The minute they leave that situation, the burnout part goes away. And I thought it was that interesting. They were talking about burnouts in bed, but after they get out of bed, they're fine. Or burnout just in a particular room at a particular... Lots of ladies. Well, Phil Don here. But this is it, you think it's going to bother them, but it's not. If they've had a good experience in that hall, and we hope they do most of the time, it's going to be just like that, and they're going to switch gears and go into it. I never thought of it that way. Now I look at it and I think, well, gee, I'm going to cry. If I'm crying now, I'm going to be all right when I get there. He is too. And another little trick he does to get him up, even if he's not, his ruffles aren't feathered. He puts
Thank you. We have enjoyed this afternoon's session. I would like to say before we end, be proud to be a caller's partner. It's a glorious life. I wouldn't take for a minute of it, really. There are some bad times, but I think you have to work those bad times out individually and together. I say individually and together. You have to work your own personal problems out yourself and work your other problems out together. And I would like to leave you with a toast. Here's to you as good as you are. Here's to me as bad as I am. But as good as you are and as bad as I am, I'm as good as you are, as bad as I am. Thank you. I guess I should ask Ann and Joanne if they would like a closing comment.
We appreciate your participation, and I wish we could just get here till about 6 or 7 o'clock and swap back and forth and get these microphones turned off and really do some talking.
I think most of us will probably be in Reno next year. We'll all be working at clubs throughout the year. Perhaps you could make notations of questions and problems that come up during the year. Even if they're solved, even if they're resolved, write them down. And next year, when we have another panel, we can bring some of those up. Because even though yours are resolved, it could help somebody else. Thank you.